This is a Miisso power bank with built-in Apple or Lightning connector and Android or USB-C cords. I received this from the Amazon Vine Voices review program for free to review. They have not paid me for my review, and my editorial choices are my own. Alright, so in the box we have a small instruction manual or page, a USB-A to C small charging cable, and the power bank itself. My particular color was green. And on the top here it has a USB-C port, a micro USB port, and a USB-A port, and then it has on the other side two of these cables that are built in. So we have a USB-C charging cable and a Apple Lightning charging cable, and they stow inside the body of the device when they're not in use. When I turn this on, there's 1, 2, 3 out of 4 lights around the ring, so it looks like it comes from the factory at 70% charged or so. Let me plug this into my phone. Alright, it is charging. It is not rapid charging, so it's not USB-C power delivery, but it is charging my phone. The USB-C connector felt snug and tight when it went in. It's not loose in my phone's connector, so it's making a good connection there. Now we're going to see how much current and voltage is being transferred. Alright, so it's 4.9 volts at 0.9, 0.8 amps. Well, there it jumped up to 1.3 amps. So right now it's doing 6.7 watts. Now on the bottom of the device it has a USB-C in out, a micro USB in charging, and then a USB-A port that's out. This is the provided cable that came with it. I am using my own USB-C cable on the USB-C port. We're going to try it on the USB-C port just to see if it supports power delivery. Alright, so it is just charging, it's not rapid charging, so it doesn't look like the USB-C port gives you... Oh wait, no, I take that back. It has renegotiated and now it is charging rapidly. So the USB-C port actually gives you better charging than the built-in cable, the built-in USB-C cable here. So there is an advantage to carrying a USB-C to C cable with you in that you can do rapid charging with that. Let me run that through my power meter here and we will see what that goes up to. Alright, so it's 5 volts, 1.8 amps, and it's up to 8 or 9 watts. So it's not a lot more, but that might be just because my phone isn't drawing a lot more. It has not negotiated a voltage higher than 5, but the amps are a little bit higher here. So it's, 1.8, 1.7 amps, and we're getting, up to 10 watts is what I've seen. So that's enough for my phone to say charging rapidly as opposed to just charging. Alright, I've plugged it into a USB-C power delivery charger, and it is charging from that. We're going to let it charge all the way up, and then we'll do a capacity test. So this guy is labeled as 5 volts, 3 amps max for in and out. So I don't believe it will ever go higher than 5 volts, but it is charging right now at 2.3 amps. So it's charging at a 12 watt rate right now, and that's with it already at least 50% charged. I'd expect it to be about 75% charged with that third light lighting up when I was checking the charge. So it might be able to get a full 3 amps input if this were closer to zero charge. I have verified it does charge on the micro USB port, although that guy here is 5 volts at 1 amp. 1.1 amps, so it's only doing about 6 watts charging through the micro port. So it looks like charging with the USB-C port will give you a little bit faster charging rate. Alright, this guy's fully charged. We're going to put it on the discharger and see how much power comes out of it. Alright, I'm using the provided cable that's built in. We're going to turn this guy on at 2 amps. Alright, it is maintaining 4.9 volts at 2.01 amps, so it's delivering 9.8 watts. And the milliamp hour and watt hour timers are counting up. Alright, charging this guy back up at 5 volts. It is currently drawing 2.5 amps at 5 volts to get it back up, and it will keep a running total of the milliamp hours here. Alright, this guy's fully charged. It took 7.2 amp hours at 5 volts to charge it. Okay, so discharging this guy, it only got 26 watt hours out, and it's rated for 36 watt hours. Charging it back up, we put in 36 watt hours. So there's a little bit of losses due to the chemical and heat things there, but it's essentially almost meeting its specifications of a 10,000 milliamp hour or 10 amp hour battery bank. I suspect we got a little bit less out because we were pulling out at a 2 amp hour rate, so it's kind of a high rate there. But that's kind of the rate you would pull it if you were charging something at 10 watts. So, you know, it's 26 watt hours out of its 36 watt hour capability, specifications here if you're discharging at a high rate. So it basically is able to deliver 70% of its battery capacity, which seems about right. When we recharged it, it took 36 watt hours, so almost the full battery capacity. So I don't think it has a full 10 amp hour capacity, but it's probably 9.5 amp hour battery capacity in there. So it's pretty close to its specifications.